Now we review the 2024 film Arthur the King. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am reviewing this film rather late in the game. It is Arthur the King, starring Mark Wahlberg, and this film is inspired by a true story. And there's a very big difference between inspired by a true story and based on a true story. The difference between these two, of course, is that inspired by a true story is categories like Silence of the Lambs, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Leatherface, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was inspired by the same story as Silence of the Lambs. You get where I'm going with this. Anyway, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. Alright, so Mark Wahlberg plays this dude who is the world's most famous loser. He is an adventure racer, and he races these adventure, like 5-day races, or 400 miles, I think they are, and you go over rough terrain and through. It's basically hike racing, only you might wind up canoeing or, biking and doing weird stuff. It's sort of like a triathlon. Anyway, so he has never won a race, but he's considered a great racer. And he's got one last shot to do this. This is his, penultimate. And he's out there going, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm getting a team together, and he gets a team together under less than favorable circumstances, because the people that sponsor him want media attention, right? And they get that media attention in the form of his team winds up adopting a dog. It's the wonder dog that is able to transverse miles and miles and miles and follow them, despite the fact that, it's a 400-mile race. And, everybody is going, oh, hey, cool, these guys got a dog, right? Now, this movie is essentially two movies. There is the dog movie and there is the race movie. The race movie is the A plot and the dog part is the B plot. But at a certain point, the A plot concludes and the B plot continues. And that's how you get your movie. And that's not a bad way of making a film. Okay? Just understand that this movie is not focused on dog. There's a lot of scenes that are not dog related, and it does not have your typical blockbuster. There's not a lot of sexy moments in here. You're not totally enthralled with the characters. It's kind of hard to tell them apart, other than Wahlberg and the female racer. And the macro situation, the situation above all of this, is really hard to keep your eyes on. Exactly what's happening in the race and how far close they are. It's all done through exposition, and it's a weak component. Now, as far as the dog movie goes, I cried. Not a lot, maybe like 2 or 3 tears, but I cried. Okay? That part, it wasn't terribly realistic, I don't think, but it was inspiring. They named this dog Arthur the King because he feels that he's a noble... Really? Interrupting my video? Airplane. They've named him Arthur the King because he's a very noble appearing dog. He doesn't beg for food. He sits there, he goes, yeah, I'm a dog, what of it? And, then things sort of contradict him being a dog that is noble, doesn't beg for food, and then winds up, transversing 400 miles. There's something of what one might call forced conflict in this movie, but, it's there, it's reasonable, I can see it happening in real life. do understand that in real life, this dog, there is a story of a adventure racer who adopted a dog, but the dog was just a dog. Well, I mean, it was somebody's dog, and they wound up fighting with the owner because they wanted to keep the dog in real life. That's not what happens in the movie. So, all of that pain and suffering you go through watching this movie and this heart-rending story of this man and his love for his dog is a fabrication. And there's something disingenuous about that. But you know what? I actually really enjoyed at least the second half of this movie. It is a slow burn film. I know a lot of people love slow burn films, but Arthur the King, it's enduring at the box office, it's making its money back, and it is worth your time. It may be something you should put on your screening list, but it's at least in the upper middle, just slightly above the middle of your watch list. It is worth checking out. It is worth going to the movies to see if you weren't going to see a movie otherwise, because it is a feels movie. And I mean, yeah, my brother used to think that if a movie made him cry, it was a great movie. And yeah, there are some great movies that affected him emotionally so much, he had to leave the theater. That's a thing. So yeah, this is kind of one of them. I mean, I would caution... Moth! You will die, Moth. Maybe you're of old age, but you will die. It's an Indian moth. Anyway, I would caution him to be like, look, it's a story with a dog, and it's not exactly the most uplifting story in the world. Okay? Don't want to give away any more than that. I think I've already given away too much. But yeah, Arthur the King, upper middle of your watch list, solid film. That's a fly, isn't it? I'm Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Barry, the official strawberry poison dart frog of Random Street Theater. And I am here to remind you, of course, that for every 1,000 subscribers Random Street Theater gets, they buy one of these bracelets I'm wearing as a necklace. These bracelets are from the company 4Ocean, and for every one of them that's purchased, a pound of trash is removed from the ocean. Why should you care? Because the world is full of trash, and you shouldn't be part of that. We should all take responsibility, do our part for the environment, and make my home much cleaner. In addition, Random Street Theater has paid for more than 100 trees to be planted. Comment, like, and subscribe. Support a better world for you and a better world for me. I'm Barry.